My name is Faye Viola, and I came to the medical school in the fall of 1975 and was here for 43 years until I retired in January of last year, 2019. The reason I came to Houston was, I guess the short answer would be that I wanted to work in an area where I was familiar, a similar work environment and in an area that I was familiar with. I came to Houston in the spring of 1975 to visit a friend, and it was similar time of year, beginning of March, beautiful weather, trees and flowers were all blooming, and the weather was spectacular. When I returned to Illinois, it was cold, dreary, and piles of snow. So I made the decision to move here, which I did 6 months later in September, which meant that I had missed the horrible summers and pretty closely came to the realization that I had exchanged cold winters for hot summers. But I was already working here, so I just stuck it out, and I enjoyed what I was doing in spite of the heat. Previously, I had worked at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign as assistant to the head of veterinary clinical medicine in the College of Veterinary Medicine. So because of my background in medicine and working at a university, I decided to look for a job in the Texas Medical Center. After interviewing at Baylor and MD Anderson, a friend of mine, a neighbor actually, mentioned the new UT Medical School, which I didn't know about, because I was using the yellow pages from a phone book to look for jobs, and it didn't appear in there. But I found my way to the Human Resources Office, which at that time was in the Prudential Building, where the MD Anderson building is located now in Holcomb, and applied for a job, got an interview with Sandra Ives in the Dean's office. They offered me a position. I accepted, and decided that working in a new medical school was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. And I'm glad I accepted. I had a great long career here. I would certainly say the friendships that I formed over the years. The floods. The first flood that I encountered was in 1976. I think it was June, the summer, when I was making my way from the Freeman building over to Center Pavilion. My car was parked nearby in the Brown lot, and it was the easiest way to get to it because there was no bus running. And when I got over there, I found out that the secretary in the neurobiology and anatomy department, because the basic science departments were located there at that time, had ordered a pizza from her brother, who worked over at Valian's, which is where the Shriners is now located. And the pizza arrived, we ate it, and when the flood subsided, I was able to get to my car and drive home down Bracewood. The chili cook-offs that we held in the front lawn of the Prudential building over on Holcomb, and also the TGIFs that we had in the Leather Lounge. My first 20 years were spent in the medical school dean's office, mainly working with faculty appointments and promotions and other activities, and also initially helping students apply for residencies. And then the last 23 years were spent in the Faculty Affairs office, 20 of those years with Dr. Henry Strobel, and the last few years with Dr. Kevin Morano, supporting faculty offers, appointments, promotions, and other activities, whatever needed to be done. I would say lastly, the opportunity to help faculty and others solve problems. Dean Ribble established the Faculty Affairs office in 1995 with the intent of helping more faculty get promoted. So working with the promotion and tenure candidates and with their dossiers and helping them get ready and have a successful outcome was one of the best parts of my job. Also working with faculty appointments, promotions, and tenure committee. Every year there's a dinner that's held to honor the successful candidates, and it's a culmination and a celebration of a lot of hard work by the Faculty Affairs Office and the Faculty Appointments, Promotions, and Tenure Committee, and was one of the best parts of my job, one of my favorite memories. Well, certainly growth in the number of people, the buildings, the space, and technology. When I arrived here, the medical school curriculum was a 3-year curriculum with 60 students each. There's a total of 180 students. The tuition was $300 a year. And when I retired a year ago, well, now there are currently, I think, 4 classes of 240 students each. So likewise, the number of faculty also increased. When I retired a year ago, the faculty numbered approximately 1,600. So I can remember when there were 300 faculty and we knew all their names. There was a lot more contact with faculty back in those days than there is today. And we were in several different buildings and things like that, so things have changed a lot in that regard. Dr. Colasurdo, when he was dean, was responsible for a lot of the faculty growth, especially in the clinical faculty numbers. As far as the building space, in 1977, the dean's office, moved from the Freeman building, which is located where the research building is now, to the ground floor of the current medical school building. At the time we moved, there were, in addition to the dean's office in the Freeman building, there was also student affairs, there was the building planning office, and the financial office, a total of 12 people. And we all moved over to the ground floor, and this was followed by the academic departments moving. The basic science departments moved over from the center pavilion. Hospital, which was located on the corner of Holcomb and Bracewood, and on that southeast corner, and then the clinical departments moved from the Freeman building. So this would be the first time that all the medical school departments were actually in one building. As far as technology, in the early 80s, our electric typewriters that you could actually pick your own color and carbon paper were replaced with a Wang computer, which was our first real computer. It was supposed to be a user-friendly computer. And that was soon replaced with the IBM 5520, which the UT system was really recommending that we get so we could communicate more easily with them. We had one printer in the office, and it was so noisy that it was kept in a separate room and in a huge noise-canceling case. So with the addition of technology and computers and email replacing phone calls, work environments became much quieter. Well, I hope I had a positive impact on those that I was guiding and advising, and the programs and processes that we established. I had several staff members that went on to higher positions in the medical school and also at other institutions in the Texas Medical Center and nearby. And some of them were working and still are working in faculty affairs roles. I think that the work here and my colleagues really benefited me both personally and professionally by challenging me each and every day. I would say being here for as long as I was, I really didn't intend to stay that long. Also, I had the privilege of working with all the medical school deans, although I didn't get to work with founding Dean Smythe until he was Dean Pro Tem in the mid-90s. So I would say just being here and contributing. I didn't intend to stay all this long, but I really enjoyed the work and the people with whom I worked and the faculty, staff, and administrators. And one thing kind of rolled into the next. There were, as with other medical schools or new medical schools, and even continuing on in the years, there were always projects to be worked on, problems to be solved, and things like that. So it was, times just kept rolling. I was enjoying what I was doing and felt like I was contributing and was appreciated. It doesn't seem like it's been 50 years, most of that time I was here, but you know, when you're here all the time and you see things change gradually, it's not until you really look back that you appreciate and recognize all the accomplishments and how things have grown and expanded and really improved.